Welcome to the review of Gillingham's season. I think it's fair to say things didn't always go according to plan, but dull it wasn't.
I really thought that Adi was going to do very well, and I felt he deserved a chance with his own choice of players, if you like. But it was quite clear, I think, after 10 games that wasn't to be. So very frustrating that didn't work, and frustrating that we didn't get the results we had hoped for, and we actually were in a fairly precarious position.
New signing Tom Eaves announced his arrival in spectacular style at the end of August with a hat-trick against Southend United as the Gills picked up their first home point in a lively 3-3 draw. Eaves was a menace to our Essex rivals all afternoon and deserved to go home with the match ball. But a 3-0 defeat at Oxford United in early September saw the pressure mounting on boss Adi Pennock. His side had now picked up just 2 points from their opening 6 matches and were languishing in 23rd place. It got worse with the Gills hitting rock bottom on September the 12th, despite a battling draw away to fellow strugglers AFC Wimbledon. New skipper Lee Martin got a straight red card in a feisty match. Wimbledon took the lead just before half-time, but the boys hit back immediately with a first goal for on-loan signing Sean Clare. At the 8th time of asking, Gillingham finally managed their first 3-point haul with a brave win over rivals Charlton Athletic. Tom Eaves scored the only goal. Any thoughts that win would give the team some momentum were dashed a week later as Rochdale crushed Gillingham 3-0. It was a poor performance and plunged the side down to 22nd. Worse still, it cost Pennock his job. Director of Football Peter Taylor took temporary charge, with Steve Lovell continuing as coach. The new regime earned a hard-fought point with a goalless draw against high-flying Scunthorpe in their first match, but a narrow defeat followed a few days later away to Blackburn Rovers, one of the promotion favourite. The Sky television cameras came to Priestfield in October as the Gills faced newly promoted Portsmouth. The visitors won 1-0, and within days Taylor had quit, leaving Lovell in sole charge as caretaker manager.
Steve came in, and of course, as we know, he did a fantastic job and continues to do a fantastic job. And you kind of are left wondering what would have been had I sorted this problem out and made that decision a year ago. But that's the story of life. You can easily make decisions looking back. You have to make decisions at the time, and sometimes the answer is right under our noses.
Lovell's first match was away to Peterborough United, and this was the start of a remarkable Gills revival. From 23rd, they'd eventually climb as high as 10th, with a wonderful run of just 2 defeats in 17 games. Captain Lee Martin scored the winner as the season finally started to take off.
We were thrown in at the deep end. On the Thursday and the Friday we had 2 days to put together a team. I made a few changes in the team, positional changes with personnel, and I played a different way to any other managers have played. And to go out and beat Peterborough on that first day in the way that we did it as well. Although we won 1-0, again we had a number of opportunities in the first half to put the game to bed early on.
Next up were leaders Wigan Athletic. In a great game under the Priestfield lights, Tom Eaves put us ahead, but the visitors fought back to equalise late on. In the Checkatrade Trophy, Greg Cundall notched his first Gillingham goal in the opening minute as the home side surged into a 4-1 lead at half-time against Reading's under-21s. Unbelievably, 4-1 became 4-4 as the visitors staged an amazing fight back. Youngsters Nolan Bow and Darren Oldacre scored twice in 3 minutes to restore Gillingham's advantage, only for Reading to make it 6-5 going into the closing stages. Oldacre again on target in the final minute as Gillingham ran out 7-5 winners. Back on the road, Gillingham snatched a 1-0 victory at Walsall after soaking up a lot of pressure. Connor Wilkinson scoring his first league goal. 3 days later at Blackpool, the Gills left it late before Tom Eaves grabbed an equaliser as the away form continued to be impressive. Against Bristol Rovers, the Gills finally produced a fluent winning home performance. Mark Byrne started the scoring, then defender Alex Lacey got in on the act as we led 2-0 at half-time. Josh Parker wasted no time extending that lead in the second half, and then Mark Byrne made it 4-0 with an absolute rocket, a worthy contender for the Goal of the Season award. At Fleetwood, Gillingham made a lightning start, scoring twice in the first 15 minutes through Parker and Luke O'Neill before digging in for a deserved 2-0 victory. The new year could not have begun any better. Almost 1,500 fans travelled to the Valley on January the 1st to see Gillingham record an historic first league win at Charlton and complete a notable league double. Josh Parker and Tom Eaves scored in the first half, and the Gills hung on to see the game out 2-1 to the delight of the visiting supporters. A hugely impressive 3-1 win at Scunthorpe underlined just how much the side had improved under Steve Lovell. The playoff candidates were swept aside by goals from Martin, Josh Parker and Tom Eaves as the Gills moved into the top half of the table for the first time. January ended with a fourth consecutive win, and again the Gills came from behind. Eaves provided the equaliser against Fleetwood, then showed nerves of steel in stoppage time after Gillingham were awarded a penalty. The spot kick made it 2-1 right at the end. The Gills were into the top 10, and Steve Lovell deservedly won the Manager of the Month award for League One in January.
I think obviously when the manager took over, he come in with a fresh approach to go out there and express ourselves, released all the shackles, so to speak. I think you see that in the first certainly 4 or 5 games where we really improved, and then we took that on into the middle part of the season.
At home to Peterborough United, Max Amer provided some last-minute drama with an equaliser in front of the Rainham end. And the Gills returned to winning ways at Northampton, dominating the first half and building up a 2-0 lead with goals from Parker and Eaves. These two had formed a great partnership and would go on to score almost 30 goals between them in all competitions. Into March, and another great away day for the Gills fans as the team fought back to win 3-1 at Portsmouth. Connor Wilkinson's superb solo goal had started it all off, scoring the equaliser within moments of coming on at half-time. Then it was the Lee Martin show, the captain leading by example with 2 great goals of his own. Now the talk really was about whether Gillingham could even make the playoffs if they continued in this sparkling form. Away from the football, Chairman Paul Scally's Take Heart Mercy Mission charity reached a new milestone as the 250th operation was performed.
I think Take Heart is our payback really to society. I think it's something we do that it's our social awareness, social conscience if you like. We take coaches down every year from the club. We took 3 of the youth team players down last year, gave them an experience. They watched heart surgery, open heart surgery, which they'd never be able to do in this country. I'm not sure it was on their CV or they'd want to put it on their CV, but they got through it and they were, as they describe it, it was life-changing for them.
It's cold. It's wet. In fact, it's one of those days when you don't really want to go out.
But there was some sadness too as the club lost a loyal friend. The BBC's Neil Bell died aged just 61.
I've done some scary things in my time, and that is just about up there. Incredibly exhilarating, but so terrifying at the same time. Thank you ever so much.
We've got a little 2 at the back of this, then we're finished.
And a minute's applause was held in his honour before the MK Dons game.
Neil Bell, BBC South East today at the Peacefield Stadium.
Any talk of the playoffs disappeared completely on Easter Monday as Gillingham were crushed 4-0 by Southend United. The Gills were 4 down at half-time as everything seemed to go wrong, including a red card for the captain Lee Martin. The run of defeat stopped with goalless draws at home to Doncaster and Blackburn Rovers, the Gills giving promotion-chasing Blackburn a tough game as Bradley Dack returned to Priestfield for the first time. At Oldham, Gillingham again left it late. In stoppage time, an off-the-ball incident gave the Gills a penalty. Tom Eaves converted as the match finished 1-1. The Gills now had 52 points. Surely that would be enough to banish any lingering thoughts of going down. But consecutive home defeats against Rotherham and Blackpool had the nerves jangling again. In the end, the Gills did just enough to ensure another season in League One. There were plenty of positives, and after the poor start, it was a great achievement by Steve Lovell and the players to pull themselves away from danger before that late slump. This is a team which will surely improve again next year.